Okay, so this stuff's burning now by itself. I haven't touched it really at all. Temperature up there is the same. Temperature down here is pretty much the same. But we're building up a nice coal base. So you can see the burning coals are getting taller. They were down here before. Now they're all the way up into these guys here. So I'm going to, even though probably it's not ready yet, it's close enough to ready for me, add more wood. I'm going to add some more wood. I'm going to add bigger stuff. When you add bigger stuff, you want to add little stuff first, every time. Or if you put big stuff on top of this big stuff, it's never going to get going. It's going to smolder out. It's going to be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to put new stuff in. It's big stuff. I put little stuff in first. This is little. That's little. I'm going to close the doors for a second just so the stuff doesn't fall out. It'll make it easier for me to just dump stuff in really quick. And I'm just going to load it up here with small stuff, as you can see. Because I want to put big stuff in. So I need all the small stuff to help me out that I can get. So give that a second to get fired up. I forgot this piece. That stuff will get going in just a second. And then I'll put some big stuff in there. And the very next thing we're going to do is wait for it all to be perfect so that we could shut it and have something like this burn, something big. Another thing too, I mentioned cleaning this glass. Sometimes you like to clean the outside of the glass, and it's hard with all this stuff here. So you can literally pull this up and off the hinges. Just wiggle it like that, pull it up, lay it on a table. If you take these 5 screws out, these metal pieces will come off. You can push the window out, clean both sides, reinstall it. You have very clean glass. You shouldn't have to do that all that often. I very rarely do it. It's really not necessary. Okay, so I'm putting big stuff in. You put little stuff in first. It's already going. Always suggest keeping something sturdy around. Something strong that you could bash that log down in there if it gets stuck. These stoves are very small. So I have to cut my wood very small. I don't want that stuff falling out. So real quick, I'm just gonna shut it while I put this in. Okay, that thing went in pretty good. It didn't get stuck, but if it did, I could hit it, like that and get it in there. As you can see, don't be afraid to open this up. Nothing's coming out. If you got a good draft established, it's all going straight out the chimney. I mean, the flames might come to the top here, but they curl out. I mean, go right up the flue. So now we're gonna leave this thing kind of open for a minute, let some of the little stuff ignite the bigger stuff, and the bigger stuff will get the very big stuff going. Everything should heat up really well. I mean, sitting right here, I'm sweating already. I can't even take it. So it is working. And even with this roaring like it is, we're not getting above 450 because the room air is cooling the chimney just so it's perfect. It'll heat up enough to draw, but it won't overheat. And you can hear it roaring a little bit. Typically, you don't want this thing roaring, but it's going to be short-lived. It's just that short stuff, all those little pieces that are helping everything along. Because you don't want to overheat anything. So we're getting up into the 450, closer to 500 now. This is really, really hot. It's getting white, which is awesome. It's getting everything hidden in the ashes to burn. Everything that was just kind of like smoldery, it's burning. I mean, that's hot. Just got shot with a pop there. Alright, so now my chimney's getting up to some pretty high temperatures. It's in the 500. So this thing's really, really, really hot in there. Really hot. And I want to get that to sit down in those jet hot flames. Let it get ripping. And now, to cool things down, because this thing's really getting up there, which is good. This is all really hot. Before I overfire my chimney, cause damage, I will close this. And it should be hot enough now to get this thing to ignite. And once that big log in there ignites and it's sitting on, it'll be a few minutes from now, this will all be just red coals. When that's all red coals, and that thing's burning by itself, or if I took it out, it would continue to burn by itself, that's when I can close the damper over here, and I can get into the catalytic burn.